Hey, hey, hey. So everybody, thank you for joining today, whether you're joining here on Zoom or on Workplace by Facebook, or you're tuning in after this call's already completed on YouTube. My name is Alexis Hughes. I'm with eXp Realty. I've been with them for 3.5 years. I've been licensed as an agent for 4.5. I'm a 3-time Icon agent, so I've iconed every single year that I've been here. And I was named 2021's Real Trends America's Best Real Estate Professional. And I have the beautiful and lovely Cheryl. She was actually, fun fact, Florida's very first Icon agent ever. And she was also a buyer specialist for our iBuyer program, which is called Express Offers. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Cheryl, please introduce yourself.
I am super excited to be here with you, Alexis. You know, I love our Express Offers program. So I've been in the real estate business for about 20 years. I came in a long time ago as an appraiser. So I naturally gravitated to those investor clients. And I somehow accumulated some experience that made me a perfect fit for our eXp Express Offers iBuying program. And I had the absolute pleasure of working with our leadership and doing some research on the iBuyer space, because all of our sellers are hearing about it. Some agents are a little bit concerned about this technology, and I'm so moved that eXp, the tech company that we are, and the solution-oriented and heart-centered leadership that we have, they've come up with this great win-win-win-win solution. So I am super thrilled to talk to you about that today.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we're going to dive in. We're going to do this kind of Q&A style and a little bit of dialogue back and forth with me and Cheryl. But then at the end, we want to be able to answer questions, whether you're with eXp or an agent at a different brokerage and you just have questions in general about the program. We really want you guys to get as much from this call as possible. So Cheryl, you touched on this exactly. You worked with investors in an investor atmosphere. We've all seen the iBuyers come in. I mean, for those that don't know what we're talking about the Zillow giving offers. We're talking about OfferPad, Open Door, the iBuyers out there that make it really, really hard for us as agents to capture listings and propel our business forward. So Cheryl, will you talk to me a little bit about what it was like in the beginning stages of Express Offers with eXp? Why did this come about? Why did it even become a radar topic for Glenn and our presidents and you?
Yeah, it's a good question. We call them the zoos, the Zillow, the OfferPad, and the Open Door. And we know it's a thing. We know that the sellers, what they do have is millions of dollars in marketing. So our sellers are being bombarded with these messages. And we too were thinking, okay, how is this going to affect the traditional role of the real estate agent? We need to do some research around it. So what we did is we dove deep in the Phoenix market, because we know that Phoenix was a hot spot for iBuyers. And we found some really interesting things, Alexis. We learned that out of all of the sellers that entered their property on one of those portals, those zoo portals, only 2% would actually convey ownership. What did that tell us? That told us that 98% of them were leads, which is pretty much in alignment to what we know about Zillow, right? And then we dug further into the 2% to see what kind of experience they were having. And as you can imagine, a seller going into contract with a corporation for profit with no representation. Oh, we're just gonna get Zillow. We got Zillow on the speed dial. So their experiences wasn't great. So leadership in true fashion responding to the need, the solution was the seller needs representation. We can still save the seller money because that was their thought process, that they could save on commissions, but they really might not have understood that they were paying a service fee up to 13%. So it costs the seller more to sell to an iBuyer than it does for a real estate agent. So it's in the seller's best interest. The real estate agent is pivotal in the transaction. Our investor partners love it because they see the value of a real estate agent in the midst of the transaction to the seller because they don't want to be dealing with the seller directly.
Correct.
So it was a win-win-win. And really, that's how Express Offers was born.
Okay.
Our leadership is genius.
They really are. And so I do want to touch on this. It has been beta tested, right? A lot of people don't realize that this was beta tested in several key markets before we rolled it out to what's become available in all 50 states now.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
It's beta tested. We've got over 80. I bet there's upwards of 80 since I was full-time and I was loading the platform with cash investors. I mean, these are large investors. They had to do 50 transactions within the past 12 months. Cash, proof of funds.
Yeah. They're vetted. So it's not, again, next question here. So guys, these are vetted investors. They're not just your Tom, Dick, and Harry that decided they want to flip houses and started signing contracts when they don't even have the cash to do it. These are legitimate investment companies. So similar to what Zillow and Open Door and OfferPad can do themselves because they're large corporations, but these are actual investors. And I want to point one thing out, and Cheryl, you can correct me if I'm wrong. The longevity of our Express Offers platform versus Zillow, OfferPad, Open Door is second to none. And I'm going to go back to COVID. I think we all remember when COVID hit and we had listings where Zillow, OfferPad, Open Door were those cash buyers. And what happened? COVID hit. Well, since these companies were purchasing with their own money, they got scared and they pulled out. It left so many sellers basically cold in the wind. It stigmatized their property too. And the reason being is because these particular companies, this zoo, they have to use their money to buy all cash. Whereas with Express Offers, we always have investors there that have the cash to purchase. So we're not beholden. Our Express Offers aren't beholden to, what the market's going to do if the market pivots. That's not to say that these investors might not rethink an offer or something like that, but we're always going to have investors that are ready to buy, which is the beauty of it, rather than some CEO at the top getting afraid that his Christmas bonus is going to get cut into, like with Zillow and OfferPad and Open Door.
You're exactly right, because the zoos, okay, so OfferPad has one offer. Open Door has one offer. Zillow has one offer. We have a marketplace of iBuyers that you may get multiple offers competing for your seller's property.
Yep.
So yeah, and it was interesting at COVID because they're getting a lot of their money out of the stock market, right? So they did have a huge pause. That's not to say, and I was having conversations with a lot of our investors at that very moment, and they were still making offers, but there was a little pause there and they were padding it a little bit for some extra risk. So it did affect us too, but it was a great solution for that time period because nobody wanted people to come in from in their house. So it's a quick, easy cash transaction.
And what I will say is, even though our investors did have a little bit of that fear, I have an agent that I lead, and she is Express Offers certified. And one of the houses that was under contract to be purchased by OfferPad, they pulled out, and our Express Offers came in and swooped in and got it. And they were still able to get the deal done. No showings, no nothing. So it is an amazing tool, especially in times like that. And I just wanted to point out to those that may not know, like, this is not eXp's money that's buying this. So number one, it helps eXp stay financially stable and be very, very responsible fiscally. But it's also investors that have a bigger threshold for risk than the Zillows and the OfferPads and the Open Doors do traditionally. So with that being said, I'm going to take us right in. Cheryl, tell us about what Express Offers is. How can it be a solution for all agents everywhere? Tell us everything you can about it.
Yeah, absolutely. We touched on a few things, how it's different from the zoos because it's a marketplace of investor partners, unlike having one offer coming from one of those bigger companies. And you're going to find investors in there. It's different also in the way that their zoos are looking for a similar homogeneous product, one that they can sell, put a little lipstick on, and then sell it again. And that only works in an appreciating market, by the way, but I digress. Circling back to express offers, it's only 12 and we got a lot in already. And I see some beautiful faces. Thank you so much for joining us, Nicole, David, Vince, JD. So glad you're here. So the marketplace of investor partners, the sky is the limit for us because they are looking for a multitude of products. We've got investors that are looking for vacant land. We've got, large parcels of vacant land. We've got investors that are looking for multifamily. A hot product right now that we're trying to work out is the Airbnb, the short-term rental, which is difficult for us agents to analyze those, but nonetheless, it's constantly morphing. So multifamily, vacant land, manufactured homes even. There's an investor that's interested in manufactured homes. They're cash cows. So it's different in that way because they're looking for a multitude of products versus one homogeneous single family home, if that makes sense.
It does. And so Cheryl, let's speak a little bit, because I know when agents hear iBuyer, the first thing that goes through their head is, I'm getting cut out. I'm not going to get paid, or I'm going to have to fight for my money. So can you share with us just the compensation model when an agent at eXp uses express offers?
Yeah, it's a good question because the seller is really excited because instead of paying the full 6 to 7% traditional brokerage commission, they're able to pay only a listing commission. So whatever our eXp agent negotiates with that seller, whether it's 2.5%, 3%, or 4%, that seller can rest assured that they are getting representation. And then on the buyer side, this is really cool, our investor partners are happy to pay a platform fee of $2,400 only when the transaction closed, and it's essentially just baked in the deal. So that is how the buyer side gets paid.
Okay.
Just a listing commission, essentially.
Let's say, and I think I've got someone. So let's say we've got an investor. And so the big thing right now is fix and flips. Everybody wants to buy a house and flip it. We have an investor that comes in and you represent them, right? You've got that listing and represent the sellers on it. The investor buys it. What happens to that flip property once the investor's done what they're supposed to do and they're ready to put it back on the market?
That listing comes back to you for another chance at a commission. Yay!
Right. So basically, to put that into perspective, when you work with our express offers platform, you're not just getting one deal, the listing initially, but you're going to morph into 2 deals, 2 transactions, just from using the express offers platform. Next.
That also reminded me. Go ahead, Alexa. Do you want?
Well, and I want to say it's not just for fix and flips. That's one solution. We've got investors, like Cheryl was saying, that want to purchase investment homes that they're going to hold for a rental. There are investors that want land and manufactured homes. And what's beautiful about it is you will go through the express offers course, and it's going to tell you exactly how to use the platform, but there's no guesswork. So as a newer agent, when I first started, I knew nothing about investments. I'm a part of a couple of investing groups on Facebook, and I would put my listings up there and they would laugh me out of town because I did not know what I was talking about. I was putting a house up there that literally was not a good investment property if you look at an ROI standpoint. And so in that platform, it's going to tell you per investor, this is exactly what we're looking for. This is exactly how you calculate the numbers, so you know that this is a property that's going to work. And so I think that ease of use is really important to put out there for newer agents and seasoned agents, just because it's hard to work with investment properties if you've never done it. And each investment is going to have a different goal and narrative at the end.
Yeah, you make a really good point because, also the ease of use is one thing, but the knowledge that you pick up just from going through those classes, I think we all should be investors. We all should think like investors. So the class 101 and 102, that's a requirement so you can speak the language and know how to operate within the platform. So, I mean, so worth your time, 101 and 102. To get the full-blown certification, there are 5 courses that, I mean, our corporate trainer, Terry Jeffries, is amazing, and she really knocked it out of the park with her modules. You can get completely certified by going through those 5 courses that will teach you so much. And then you can leverage all those great marketing tools that certify you as express offers. So how does that make you look in your marketplace when you can compete as a real estate agent with these large iBuying? There's not a seller that wants to go to contract with a corporation for profit. They need us.
And I do want to touch on that, like in the Charlotte market, we have Mark Spain, who's real big. And so he has billboards all over, and it says, guaranteed to sell your house, or we can bring you a cash offer today. And so when you think about, number one, how much money that Mark Spain individually has to have to be able to do that, it's insane the amount. Now we can compete on a Mark Spain level. And she touches on these marketing, or the marketing. It's not just you guys. I mean, it's great to be able to have that link and be able to put it out. Hey, I can bring you a cash offer. Contact me today for a listing appointment. However you word it on social media and your ads. But imagine being able to, and this is one thing I think so many of us do not realize, eXp as a whole, you know, eXp, what did we do last quarter? 2 billion in revenue, wasn't it?
$1 billion.
2 billion in revenue. So think about it, 2 billion in revenue that we can sit there and we can invest in marketing express offers by eXp against Zillow, against OfferPad, against Open Door, against Mark Spain, against the wholesalers that are going to go and jack the price down on the house like 40%. So now we're in this competing space that eXp is investing in. Well, what do you think happens when consumers are going online and entering their information into eXp's website? That's a lead at that point. That's going to the agent in that area that's express offered certified. And we all want listings. And even if the express offer doesn't match, you just got your foot in the door. That's the big part, getting your foot in the door for the listing. So you don't even have to use the express offers, but it's going to give you a platform to get the listing, which I think is something that's very undervalued, quite frankly.
I agree with you. I think it's one of the most undervalued. It's a newer system to our agents, first and foremost, and, you know, great agents are very busy right now. So to sit through, you know, that's been a challenge, but they'll get there once they realize the value inherent in that. And a couple of things came to mind when you were talking there. You made some really, really good points. There are some areas, although we're open in all 50 states right now, and the major metropolitan areas are covered, there are some parts of our country where we have eXp agents that we don't yet have investor partners. And you are greatly incentivized as an eXp agent to bring the investors that are working in your neighborhood. And what happens is these investors, they're expanding their footprint with eXp because we are the largest independent real estate brokerage that's licensed in all 50 states. So that small town investor becomes your BFF because now they're moving into other markets and they're moving to other markets and they can grow to what they want to be. And guess what? Because you brought them to us, you get $800, which is a third of the platform fee that we mentioned earlier on this call. You get $800 truly passive income for any transaction that is closed by that particular investor partner, no matter what eXp agent facilitates that deal. Pretty amazing.
It really is. And if you think about it like that, that is one of the scarcity mindsets many agents have when it comes to working with investors is, I'm going to do this for you and I'm going to help you grow. And then you're going to forget about me or cut me out of the deal when Jack or Jill gives you a cut on commission or something. Well, this way you're protected still. And you're still making that passive residual income that we all love. So that is amazing. What I do want to talk about is the conversion rates. I'm really big on numbers, y'all. And so I was researching express offers and came across a guy named Sheldon Steele, who's with eXp, and they really went hard with express offers. He's got a whole YouTube video, but when they analyzed the data and they dug in, they were seeing that Zillow, OfferPad, Open Door were only really converting about 3 to 6% of the leads they had come in for their cash offers into actual closings. And so then they took express offers and ran with it for a while to look at their conversion rate. And so on average, the average express offered agent can expect to close about 12% of the leads they have that come in from express offers. So number one, we've already doubled the conversion rate of Zillow and all of them. So obviously, you know, if someone's clicking on Zillow, Open Door, OfferPad, they're going to come to express offers too. Let's get them in there. And so how that translates is this particular team, literally five appointments a week with people interested in express offers. Even taking 2 weeks off a year where you're not working it, that translates into 250 appointments. And if you look at the conversion rate, that's 30 closed deals from express offers alone. And that's not counting if it turned into another listing because it was a fix and flip. So this is really an untapped source of income for our agents. There are agents that are iconing solely from express offers. So I just wanted to put that out there because I love my numbers.
Thank you for that, Alexis. I love that. We're getting more and more success stories. It was a slight learning curve. You know, what happened with it, I mean, it grew to monstrous proportions. When we rolled it out in the first states, there were so many agents that were interested in, there were so many investors that were interested in it, and we had to roll out into all 50 states. And this thing just grew to monstrous proportions. And there is a learning curve. Yes, invest your time in those courses, because Sheldon, they did exactly that. And look, they're super successful. They're the post children for express offers.
Like, they need their own like poster where they go on express offers training, because it's awesome. I was floored, and I think that was what got me excited for this call, because we don't know what we don't know. Like, I ran the numbers, and there's only about 22% of our entire firm that are in the express offers group on Workplace. And that 14,000 isn't all certified people. So less than 22% of eXp agents are taking advantage and leveraging this. And for those of us that aren't, I get where it's busy, or it may not be your niche, or if you're like me, it's really hard to sit down and commit to 5 classes. But in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be worth it in the long run, especially as we're starting to see these platforms offering way over market value. So the zoo is now offering ridiculous amounts just to gain market share. And slowly but surely, it's harder and harder for the agent to compete. I've even looked at offers from them and I'm like, yeah, you need to take that. You need to take that. Imagine if I were certified, which I'm in the process of, and I was able to give them a cash offer too. So guys, it's definitely untapped. And Cheryl, is there anything else before we take questions that you want to touch on?
Yeah, I was just actually checking the chat. I wanted to address JD and David and Matthew. I just you know, in closing, the many opportunities that are inherent, we talked about all of them. You know, getting the certification and the education that you'll get, and lean into that express offers community on Workplace. Just like any Workplace page, that in post is chock full of information. Great way to get your feet wet. So get active, lean into express offers on the Workplace community. And if you got any questions, you'll get responses from various people. So the $800 for referring per deal for referring an investor, that's a huge opportunity. Use it as the ultimate listing leverage tool. JD had mentioned that. You know, do we have the statistics of how many deals actually went through express offers versus through the traditional route? And I did get those from Darren James about 3 months ago, and I don't even want to begin to repeat that, because so much has happened in 3 months. We did not talk about what they're doing on that side of it to help you generate leads. Going back to our original conversation of how this was started and the 98% turned into leads, we have that same capture that we can vet all of their options. Here, you want a cash offer? Let's talk about that. However, this is what it would look like if you sold to Open Door. This is what it would look like. And by the way, Open Door will give you 1% for that. OfferPad in our market right now will give you 3. And then you put it through Express Offers and you present that offer as well. And then you say, by the way, Mr. Seller, all these offers are good. However, I think I can get you better even with you paying 6 or 7% on the open market. So our Make It Rain program, we've got marketing working for us to get our own personal Express Offers links out there so you can generate these leads. So there's a lot of lead gen opportunities available within Express Offers too. And then finally, just lean into their buy box. You know, after you take 102, you can get into the platform and you can play around, get yourself acquainted with your buy boxes in any particular area. Here in Tampa, I think we have 12 buy boxes. We've got fix and flip, we've got buy and holds, we've got vacant land, but prospect, get in a relationship with these investors, prospect for what they're looking for. And that's when you're going to get your big wins within the platform. But if you're using it as JD was mentioning, you know, many times you're better off in the open market. But I'll tell you what, when the market shifts a little bit, we're going to be so grateful that we have Express Offers as well. So,
and I do want to use that to point out, like we talk about, we talk about all the time for sell by owners. And the reason they're for sell by owners because they don't want to pay a commission. Could you imagine how different that call goes when you pick up the phone and call a FSBO? My name is Alexis Hughes. I came across your listing on Zillow.com. I don't know if it would be of interest to you, but we work with investors all over that are looking for homes like yours. Would you be interested in allowing me to present a cash offer to you?
Yeah, that's pretty strong.
There's your appointment. There's your conversion on a FSBO.
And you don't need them to sign a full listing agreement. You essentially need to get them to sign an authorization for you to obtain a cash offer. They're not bound by anything. They sign that they're not bound by anything. I'm going to get you a few cash offers. You and I are going to reconvene. We're going to meet. At that point, you have the commission agreement signed that the net sheets comparing all of their options. I mean, yes, things are changing in our industry and we need to be better. We need to be better real estate agents. And this is one way for you to set yourself apart. I'm pretty excited.
I am too. And guys, it is absolutely amazing once you get that sheet that Cheryl was talking about signed. At that point, you're submitting it to Express Offers. You're submitting it to Open Door, to OfferPad, even to Zillow. And because you've got that signed, your commission's protected. And then you're not going with one cash offer, but multiple with net proceeds on every single line so they can really look and have options and choices. But in every scenario, you're getting paid.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I think we want to open it up for questions.
I'd love to hear from Janice and Carrie, and we got Shima on the line.
Yep. And Terry pointed out here in Mecklenburg County, we have 14 buy boxes right now. So, and then we've got Matt Johnson. He's closing on his first Express Offers deal. So guys, it is a great tool.
Awesome. I love the success because as I tell you, in the beginning, like anything, success is messy. Mm-hmm. And being on the front end, it was busy, but I knew it was going to be so worth it. So worth it.
And we are blessed, guys. If you don't follow Cheryl on social media or workplace, follow her. She is a wealth of information, knowledge, energy, motivation, the whole 9 yards. The fact that she was on this initially, I have no doubt is one of the main reasons it's become as successful as it is.
Oh, Alexa, I appreciate you so much. All right, let's open our mics here. Let's have some conversation.
Yeah. Terry said, let's talk about the marketing. Who is doing this on Facebook and other platforms? So if you're using Express Offers currently and you're using it on social media and other platforms for marketing purposes, you can feel free to open your mic and share. I'm going to give it a few minutes. And if not, I'm going to give you the ideas that I've been brainstorming and working on in preparation for being certified.
Awesome.
All right.
And I'll add to that, Alexis, that simply go onto the Express Offers workplace page and you'll see what's offered. There are a lot of proud agents when they get through that training and they're so compelled and excited about that training that they'll post, got my certification. And that's just the beginning of the plethora of marketing tools. The marketing that are already made for us, by the way, in our marketing center. You just plug your information in and type it out there.
Now, Cheryl, correct me if I'm wrong. In one of the 5 courses, don't they talk about how you can leverage the marketing?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's not like you're just going to get certified and be completely blind on the marketing aspect. You're taught exactly how to use it. Now, because nobody spoke up about using it currently on Facebook and other platforms, for those with eXp, you most likely know what landing pages and squeeze pages are, right? So what I plan on doing is 2 different types of marketing with it. So it's going to be your normal, like, hey, here is your chance to get an express offer. What is that? Cash offer. I can give you a cash offer on your house if you're thinking of selling. Going to post that on my Facebook, and then I'm going to market it through ads, through targeted marketing. So anybody that has looked at Zillow.com, anybody that has looked at Open Door, OfferPad, whatever the case may be, my ad's going to start showing up in their feed. It's going to be tied to a landing page. That landing page will direct them to the express offer side of things. And guys, this sounds complicated, it's super easy. But when they click the link on my ad, it's going to take them to my landing page. They're going to type their information, click submit. They'll be able to go and submit their information for a cash offer, but I've got their information already because they came into my KV core. Well, now I'm going to put them on drip campaigns tailored to express offers specifically. I'm going to start following up with them. I'm going to go ahead and do a market analysis for them too. And I'm going to go ahead and send an email message to express offers and say, hey, working on this person now. So that is how you will utilize it. Or even just weekly, consistently posting. Bet you didn't know I can bring you a cash offer on your home. Same as any other thing that we post out there. If you use this consistently and intentionally, not just posting randomly, but consistently with the intent that I'm going to drive leads and I'm going to follow up with them, it will work for you.
Yeah, and I don't know how many people are aware of that. We can actually, all those tools you talked about, we get with our tech package with eXp, KV Core, the power of KV Core. I mean, what is the cost of it if you buy KV Core outside of eXp? Is it like $299 a month?
Oh my gosh, I wish. So 4 years ago, it was $299 for one agent. I believe the price last time I checked, if you have 1 to 3 agents on the platform, it's going to cost anywhere from $500 to $600. That also that doesn't cover the cost of the website that you have to have in order for KV Core to be able to work. So you've got the KV Core fee, then you've got your website each month that you're paying for. And then on top of that, if you're going to do any kind of advertising for lead generation, you have that ad spend. And so with eXp, our website and our KV Core is included.
For $50 a month. Love it. But two, we can take it one step further. We've got some marketing specialists that are working with a few of the agents that want to expand their KV Core squeeze pages and their landing pages, and they want them to target market lookalike audiences. You mentioned that. We've got support at the leadership level. I often see in my news feed some express offers ads come up, and support those, by the way. Support those as we are growing this. Yes, absolutely.
All right, guys, any other questions?
I have a question.
Oh,
So
go ahead.
I'm sorry. So also, and I believe I was going to say, how do you find out like what the requirements are for the investor, but now that you mentioned in the training, I think it was back in the training also. So I just have to go back and relook, because I believe like if you bring in an investor too, you get a little bit of piece of that pie, don't you?
Yes, we touched on that. I think you had come in a little bit late. So for those of you that joined a little bit later, if you guys bring an investor on to participate in express offers, you are going to get $800 for every deal that's closed with them, no matter who the agent was. So, I mean, guys, I know investors in Florida and Virginia and Maryland and California. Best believe I want to tap into them. Best believe it.
Truly passive income. So now at eXp, we have 4 ways to generate. But Janice,
what's that saying? eXp, I think, really has embraced. Most millionaires have what, 6 lanes that they participate in for income before they become.
We're getting there.
We've really embraced that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Janice, if you had gotten your portal, your logon information after you took 102, you likely still have that, right?
Yeah, I do.
Then you can log on and you can find what buy boxes are in your marketplace. In fact, you can see what buy boxes, I believe you can see what buy boxes are also. I know that you're licensed in Missouri. I think you can hop around and see what areas, what states have different buy boxes. It's kind of an interesting trip to take.
Yeah, I actually did submit one offer while I was in Missouri. It didn't quite work out, but it was a good experience. So I kind of got the, the process and so.
Yeah, it's not easy, and sometimes you're going to get lower offers, especially if you have a market where you don't have the buy and hold investors yet. You just have fix and flips in there. They're likely going to submit a lower offer because there's a lot to account for. 2 sets of closing costs and rehab repairs, buy and hold. Right now I'm working with an investor that's paying over appraised value because they're so hungry, and the return on their investment, even at those higher prices, they'll get that from the cash flow. They'll get that back from the appreciation. They're not holding on these properties for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. This is a long-term hold, and we all know that if real estate held long enough, always goes up in value.
And then David Dunlap, you had a question. I want to go ahead and let you open up.
Well, thanks. And thanks, Cheryl, for the invite yesterday. Since we didn't get to do this in person, we are today, which was unexpected. So thanks.
Perfect.
So Alexis, my head, So Alexis, my head is spinning because it's so interesting. So I'm an agent that lives off of rev share. So I love residual income. So I don't sell houses like I used to. So I think I could see where this could be a benefit for agents that are in this position. So I don't know that there's a quick explanation, but how could someone like myself benefit for jumping into this? And so I think I understand if there's what did you guys call it? An iBox?
Yeah.
What did you say?
A buy box.
A buy box. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So each market is a buy box an agent that represents that community, and there could be X number of agents. So I know we have one agent in Little Rock that is doing this, I believe. Is that what that means?
Well, so I'll answer it, and then if it needs a deeper in-depth answer, Cheryl will. So no, the buy boxes are not agent specific, it's investor specific. And so the buy box will tell you the exact criteria that the investor is looking for. So you know that you have a house that could fit that criteria. So even though there's an agent in Little Rock already, that doesn't mean anything. You submit to the same investors. But here's where you will like this, because you love residual, right? I would focus on express offers, get to learn how it works and utilize it for sure, but you're going to really benefit from understanding it for agent attraction purposes. Imagine how many agents would be interested if you could give them this option for their clients, but then also start building relationships with investors, no matter where they're at, because then as they come onto the platform and you familiarize yourself with that, every single time a deal closes, no matter where it is, you're getting $800 from it. What's 8 times 5? 40. So that's what, $44,000 a month if you have 5 transactions from express offers from one of your investors. I know investors.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
A month, so
okay, so you mentioned squeeze pages and landing pages and stuff like that. I don't do any of that stuff. So is there anyone in eXp that I could hire to run all of the back behind the scene? Because I'm not going to do that. I know myself well enough to know that I'm not going to do that.
You're like, hey, so I teach KV core classes for the agent that wants to learn it and then implement it themselves. If you don't want to do it yourself, you're like, I need someone that can do these. You need to find someone to do marketing, because that's who you're hiring. You're not hiring someone familiar with KV core. You want someone familiar with marketing, because they're going to know what a squeeze page is, how to target market, and do all of that if you don't want to do it yourself.
So I said you're hired a moment ago, so I can talk to you more about it later then.
Sure. I didn't come on here expecting to plug services that I've never done before, but I will do it.
Yeah, more residual income for you. I'm
right there, lane 5.
And David, thank you so much too for slowing us down in all our geekdom. You know, what's a buy box? Great question.
Yeah, absolutely.
But nonetheless, too, the Make It Rain program, Kevin, I don't offhand I remember his last name, but you asked about, can somebody do this for you? And yes, you can do it through KV Core, but you can also do it through eXp Corporate. Yep. So they do have a program that if you could generate leads to help your rev share group, keep them in production, to help other agents in the industry that need more production, you absolutely can beef up your rev share check a little bit more. How long have you been doing that, Dave?
I opened Arkansas 5.5 years ago, and I've got, it's 5.5 years. Yeah.
Awesome.
And
everybody here
to Cheryl's point, as you, I think that the evolution that is eXp is we come on board as an agent or a team leader or a brokerage owner already, and most of the time we're still in production, but the evolution happens because we transform as leaders. And so
absolutely,
we begin to build those that we bring on in our likeness to be what we've done and do what we've done. And what actually happens is, like David, you get out of production or you pull back on production naturally, not because you're just sipping Mai Tais doing nothing, but because now your role has changed. And you've got.
Well, I was sipping Mai Tais doing nothing. So,
mine's margaritas, but we won't talk about that.
Well, that too. But no, I've sort of been missing in action the last couple of years. So this is a story about revenue share. Not that this is this call, but it's real. Went through cancer. I'm 2 years out, October the 11th. I didn't sell any real estate during that time. So revenue share is real. So for you guys that are not out there talking to your co-op agents and other agents, do it, because this is life changing, absolutely life changing.
And to that point, like, it's awesome to be able to give back. So those deals I'm getting from squeeze pages and stuff like that, most of the time I'm putting those deals to other agents whose goal is to move beyond a plateau, or they are brand new and they don't have an SOI, and being able to support them and lead them and teach them. You can't keep it all for yourself and still have time to enjoy life. That's just not good. And
absolutely
helps that, especially with the sickness. I've
was
diagnosed with autoimmune and had to.
Well, and that brings a point. For if any of you guys that are on this call that you want to hear my story, please reach out. Send me something through workplace chat. I'm glad to share my story with you. If you're talking, I don't care if you're in my organization or not. I've got 1,300 agents in my group. It doesn't matter. We're growing this thing together. But if you would like to hear another agent's story, reach out to me. I'll share mine. We can do a 3-way call or whatever, because I want to help you attract agents and continue growing this company. I am not missing in action anymore. I'm back on track. So anyway.
Oh my God, I love his energy. We need him to do like Monday motivational calls. That's what we need. I love him. Oh my goodness.
I am not the same person that I was August the 8th. Let me tell you that. So,
which is another story. And there are two on the call. David Dunlap, an early leader in eXp that actually launched the state of Arkansas for eXp. So I know that you worked really hard for those early years.
Oh my
have some freedom.
I did. I was out selling houses. eXp what does that stand for? I mean, we've all heard all of that. So yeah. It was not here. I went through all of the red tape, got it up and running, and then slowly but surely, agents started joining, and they know who we are. We're still small in Arkansas, however, we're growing, which is a great thing.
Yeah, and Vince Hopper too. He did the very same thing. He's on this call in the early days of eXp. So hats off to you both, because that was not easy to get set up in all of the MLSs. But thankfully, you know, early on, you get your rev share check going on and a little passive income. You can sit back and have a Mai Tai or two.
Yep. I just remember, you know, the very first agent I brought on, when they brought their first agent on, and they got their first revenue share check, and it was $340. This girl was ecstatic. She's like, oh my God, that's my entire car payment. When you told me about this, I was expecting like a $7 check, like my profit share one. I was like, no. And even if you're not that person that wants to retire off a revenue share, imagine how freeing it is just knowing your car payment's paid each month, or your mortgage. Like,
Well, and what's great too is I was a KW agent for 10 years. And so guess what? I still get profit share. So profit share, it's the best of both worlds. So
but nobody cared about that until 2 years ago. And then all of a sudden they got big mad when they got real big mad about that. So,
I still pay my $25 every single year, or $50, whatever it is. I'm not going to miss out on $1,200 a month or whatever. So
not at all. I wouldn't either. I don't blame you. So guys, any other questions about, I know we went on agent attraction and revenue share. It is a facet and one of the ways that Express Offers can help you leverage and grow. But are there any other questions about the Express Offers? We're coming up on about the 14-minute mark. I think we did this a lot quicker than I anticipated, but I want to make sure that everybody's questions are answered.
And Alexis, I would think too that we've got X Camp coming up in Las Vegas for eXpCon, because we're meeting in real life, which is super, super exciting. But you know, there's a lot of training around Express Offers. They're you know, just get in the cloud, lean into that community. And you know, if you need some help, reach out. I'm happy to host masterminds, hold masterminds, and get what you need so you can get up and running. I do think that it can help your business, and even more rewarding for me is to create opportunities for those that are coming in after me too.
And I do want to point out, guys, because we do have some people that are tuning in or that we will be sending this call to. If you're not with eXp and you're like, what's X Camp? I want to know more about Express Offers. I want to dig in deep, guys. November is eXpCon. It is the largest event. And I'm sorry, big decisions are made at big events. So if you are on the fence, you're not sure, you're curious, and you're not with us already, come to eXpCon, be our guest. We will personally invite you. You can experience all of the training, the atmosphere, get training on Express Offers, and so much more. And I promise when you leave, if the decision wasn't clear, it will be clear.
That's when they get to experience the core value fun.
Yeah,
yep, absolutely.
Yes. Gosh.
I hate that I'm not going to be there.
Remember the last one in person? Was it Stacy Onan or Elizabeth Riley that got thrown in the pool?
Stacy.
Yes, Stacy.
Yeah.
Oh
yep.
my God, it was awesome.
That was amazing. Yep. Yeah, I hate that I'm not going to be there this year due to some health reasons. I'm feeling really good after the last 3 years of some stuff. But anyway, you guys go. It's going to be a great event, and I hope to meet you in person. Hopefully, shareholders. We'll see how that works out for next year.
I am holding a space for that, David, and thank you for sharing the great news and kicking cancer to the curb. Hats off. We love you, friend.
All right, guys. David, I love to have met you today. This is one of those beautiful things about you.
Yeah, likewise.
Collaboration. We never would have met probably had it not been for this. So, guys,
it's Cheryl's fault.
It's all Cheryl's fault. I told y'all, follow her. All right, guys. Thank you, and I hope y'all have a great day.
Awesome. You too. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for sharing. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.